Come on, BTC.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is August the 7th, maybe? August the 7th today. It's 11 a.m. Central European time. Don't forget, we are live every day. This is not a recording. This is not pre-recorded. This is not anything other than me physically being here. What are we going to talk about today? Well, first of all, we are going to talk about whether crypto is going to bounce or not. How are we going to do? Have we got any news about China? Have we got any news about Japan? We're going to go through it all. Just give me 1 second. Let me just fix the title of the show. There we go, much better. So, there we go. A few good mornings. Good morning to Peter, Velvet Rope. Good morning to Hidden. Kishan is always out there. We have 152,759 followers as of last count yesterday, aiming for 200,000 by the end of the year. You can help us by subscribing to the channel. All you need to do is click follow or subscribe or whatever magic buttons you have in front of you and make an old man very happy. Remember, I am 50 this year. I am no spring chicken. I am not like Peter, who is in his 30s and young and vigorous. We're going to go through Louisiana and the Michael Saylor interview. We're going to go through the restaking ETH boom. We're going to talk about white hacks, not hats, white hacks. We're going to go through Aave, which we're going to cover yesterday. Jenna, we're going to cover yesterday. And best buys. What should you be buying now? That's going to be the final topic of the day. Remember, yesterday we covered off what were the best AI picks, in my humble opinion, and what were the best DeFi picks, in my humble opinion. And we went through a few of them. Obviously, we spoke about Uniswap, we spoke about Dupe. All of the tokens that we've talked about are up, but that doesn't make me some kind of genius. That's simply the fact that the market is recovering. So before we get into the show, let's go and have a quick look at some prices, see where we are today, and see whether Bounce Baby is the real headline or not. Now, I am going to try and go back a little bit to the normal style of the show. Obviously, Monday and Tuesday, what did we do? We looked at lots and lots of charts, lots and lots of data, which I understand a lot of you like, and I get that. And maybe we will do a little bit more of that moving forward. But today I want to get back to the news because there's a lot we're missing out on. And I have about 10 X-Files to go through. So there's a lot of content to get through. Remember, we do this in an hour. So by 12 o'clock, 12:05, we will be done and dusted. Bitcoin then coming in at 56, and he said 56, 57,500. Ethereum is back over 2,500. BNB is back, I believe, nearly at $500. And Solana is cranking up $154. That's been one of the best movers over the last 24 hours. What we're coming in then, we've broken back above the $2 trillion market cap. Remember, 8 to 10 trillion, rule of thumb, is roughly where we should be going. I think we got to 6 trillion last time. If we can get 8 to 10 trillion, that would be amazing. That's a 5x, potentially a 5x from here. Volume then back over $100 billion. Bitcoin dominance and ETH dominance coming in at 71%. So not too bad. I'll get to your comment in a minute, Peter. So as you can see, Bitcoin is pumping. It's gone up again. It's 57,650. We like it when we stream and Bitcoin pumps. More people come in and more people are happy. That's the most important thing. What's gaining then and what is losing? Popcat, again. Do you remember what I said to you 2 days ago about meme coins? I said specifically, when Bitcoin and crypto dumps, the meme coins, they wet the bed and they run out of the top floor window. They're gone, okay? Never going to see them again. When we see a recovery, we will see meme coins start to recover as well. Popcat, 38% up. Dog with Hat up 30%. I told you yesterday Dog with Hat was a good pick. Solana is up 12. Zcash, or Zcash should I say if you're American. Jupiter at 89 cents is still a bargain. Remember, they've voted to burn 30% of the supply. I don't know how many times I have to tell you. Jupiter should not be 90 cents, the same way that Solana shouldn't be $154. But I expect Jupiter to go to $1.50 to $2 pretty soon, and that's a 2x, a minimum of a 2x, probably in the next few weeks. Notcoin is up, Audi is up, Sui is up, Pive, Bonk. It's just a green day, as we call them. Now, are we going to see all of the stable coins in the bottom? We pretty much are, aren't we? We've got gold, Lido, Casper, I suppose. Casper I'm not a fan of. although it's coming in at exactly $4 trillion. PayPal is in there, die again. There's no point in looking at those. You know, when we have a green day, everything pretty much rips. So there isn't much point in looking at them. A few comments. Good morning, Tariq. Chris has said, smash the likes. Please do smash the likes. Peter has said, I'm lost. I'm confused about this crypto thing. I've been changing and mixing my portfolio and feel like I have stuffed up. No, you haven't. What you have is fear of missing out, FOMO. It's a natural reaction to the market moves. When you buy your portfolio, you need to have the conviction to stick to it. Now, you've bought Mantra because you've told us it's a solid pick. You've picked Ponke, it's a solid pick. You've got rid of some coins which we know aren't great. They were good decisions to make. Coins pump from time to time. You will see, obviously, as we've said, not all the meme coins are up 28 and 36%. Some of them are up 8 or 10%. They'll have their time. Brett, for example, I don't even know how much Brett has pumped, but Brett is a solid pick. There we go. Brett is coming in at just, is that going to be 10 cents yet? It's coming in at 10 cents. My buy price for Brett is 11 cents. So even though the markets have recovered, look at Near Protocol. It's at $3.84. I mean, that's a $7, $8, $9, $10 coin at this stage of the market. Aave, again, we're going to talk about Aave in a minute. That's only at $103. There's a lot of coins. Look at Render. Render was $7 or $8. These are the prices you can pick up solid coins for. You don't want to be paying what it's going to be worth in 2 months' time. 70% of the portfolio is Solana, Jupiter, Lido, Radium, Aero, and Mantra. That is absolutely solid, in my opinion. Tariq, can I sell Litecoin and buy ETH instead? Entirely up to you. I think ETH is a good price at, what are we, $2,500 for ETH. Again, we've not just had the retracement, which we have from time to time. ETH's also had the sell pressure from Grayscale. Could I see ETH at $4,000 by the end of the month? Absolutely. $3,500 to $4,000. That would be, let's call it a 50% pump in ETH over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Litecoin, where are we on Litecoin? Litecoin is coming in at $58. We were talking about Litecoin at $90. That's a 50% pump. Again, what I would personally do is rebalance. So don't, again, it's not all or nothing. It's not black and white. If you've got a very, very big bag of Litecoin, maybe consider moving some of the Litecoin to Ethereum if you haven't got enough Ethereum. My rule of thumb is very conservative. 60 to 70% of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you want to be a bit more degen, as Peter is and wants to go big on Solana, and he holds Dupe and he holds Solana itself, fine. That's not a bad idea. But jumping from one train to another, you could be jumping from a very slow train to a very fast train, which is about to slow down, and the train that you're on might accelerate. So you have to have the conviction to hold what you bought. Why did you buy it in the first place? If you bought it in the first place because you like the project and you think it's going to do really well, you shouldn't be selling it. If you're doing it because you're envious of how fast other coins are moving, trust me, Popcat is not going to keep pumping at 36% a day. Same with Solana. Very unlikely we're going to keep seeing 12% moves. These are either a dead cat bounce, which we're going to talk about, or they are moves to recover some of the lost gains because they were oversold. A lot of coins at the minute are oversold. So just be careful why you want to be buying some of these coins. Why are so many people on YouTube rubbish? Sol is a scam. And there's a good reason people are saying Sol is a scam. And that is because the tokenomics of Solana, the way that the transactions are carried out on Solana are different. The same way that Cardano is different. What I don't like is hit pieces. And I've made a video about this for the OGs, and which I explained why I think it's a hit piece. If you go back a year to CZ, what happened with CZ was that a certain Sam Bankman-Fried paid journalists and news outlet owners millions of dollars to run hit pieces on CZ. It even got as far, I believe, as one of the real mainstream periodicals. I can't remember which one it was, but it might have even been someone like Bloomberg or the New York Times or someone like that. They ran a hit piece on him, and it obviously came out in the wash that it was all fake. There is a concerted effort from other chains to have a go at Solana, and it started with one video which I've reviewed and given my comments on, and that video was made by someone with no subscribers, and it is a high-end, top-quality CoffeeZilla style video, and it's way above where that channel should be. So clearly somebody has paid for a hit piece to be taken out on Solana, and then that video is being shared by all of the Cardano maxis, may I add, calling it a scam. Okay, you point me in the direction of one blockchain that does not have faults. There isn't one. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, Cardano, Aave, all the layer 2s, Matic, Optimism, Arbitrum, they've all got their own faults. There is no single blockchain at this moment in time which is 100% perfect. It doesn't exist. So of course, they're going to use some of the fundamentals about Solana against Solana. Now, I'm not a Sol maxi. You know, the majority of my portfolio is in Bitcoin, but I don't like unfair criticism of blockchains. We could say the same thing about Cardano. Why is Cardano not breaking above 40, 50, 60 cents? Why is XRP stuck at the price it's at? You know, if Solana gets mainstream adoption, which it is getting, none of it matters. None of it matters. Okay? It just has to stay in the game. Clearly it's doing, it's making a lot of money. Jupiter is there, Hive is there, Radium, Orca, it's all revenue, okay? So it's a hit piece. In my opinion, it's a hit piece. I'd say the same thing, and if you remember back, I did say the same thing about Cardano about 2 months ago, and I said there is a concerted effort to have a go at Cardano, and Charles Hoskinson especially, and he even came out himself and said that the press are going after Cardano. So I don't stick up for one chain, I stick up for all chains if I think that that is unjust, which it is. It is unjust. They're using some of the tokenomics about Solana, which are public available, against them. So don't give me the BS that Solana is an absolute scam, because I don't take that on board at all. It's nonsense. And again, the problem is, influencers get paid a lot of money to spread this information. I'm not going to call it lies, spread this information. Anyway, Metaplanet has announced a plan to raise 10 billion yen to buy more Bitcoin. I don't know how many more Bitcoin that is going to buy them, but they're going to buy an awful lot more. And some people have been calling Metaplanet the Japanese MicroStrategy, and you can see why. I'm going to whiz through these. We've got an awful lot to get through. While the entire crypto Twitter was panicking about whether it's actually over, large Bitcoin holders have quietly scooped up 30,000 Bitcoin. Every single time this happens and people capitulate, the only people that win are the whales. Everybody that's anybody bought the dip, including BlackRock, including the ETFs. They all bought the dip. You have to stop being feared by the Bank of Japan putting interest rates up, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. You have to stop being feared out of the market. Paper hands on Bitcoin isn't going to get you anywhere. Bitcoin should be your #1 priority. Michael Saylor calls the latest Bitcoin conference a major turning point. He sees Senator Lummis's Bitcoin reserve bill as a historic milestone, like the Louisiana Purchase for Bitcoin's future. It goes a little bit deeper than that. I watched the interview. He was talking about the purchase of Louisiana and the purchase of Alaska. Alaska is, of course, it was owned, I think, by Russia. I think America paid whatever it was, 250,000 reserve. Has so much skin in the game that he is going in history because that's his job. Okay, that's what he's out for. let's move on. I will get to the comments in a minute, but we have a lot to get through. Like I said, I'm trying to get back into the show, but still keep you in the loop. Well, you know what? I'm glad I missed this one. We can't get through all of them probably in the time that we've got. What is this one? So, Peter Schiff. For those of you that don't know, Peter Schiff runs a gold fund. And obviously, Bitcoin is an existential threat to gold in his eyes. Owning Bitcoin in ETFs defeats the entire purpose of owning it in the first place. It's no longer decentralized. It's no longer peer-to-peer. It's easily seized by authorities. It can't be used as a currency for payments or transferred across borders. It's not your keys, not your coins. And I did say underneath somewhere, I think I commented and said, it's the first sensible thing he has said. And that is true. If you are watching, you are more than likely owning your Bitcoin. Are we back? There we go. If you own your own Bitcoin and you are clever enough, your Bitcoin should be on a ledger. If you don't know what a ledger is, it is a small device that you can store your Bitcoin and Ethereum and various other cryptos on. You should have it on there. If not, yes, your next best, safest option is the exchange that you're on. Okay? That's the safest place. You should never hold your crypto in a hot wallet. And a hot wallet is MetaMask, is Phantom, is Solflare. Yes, if you want to go and use some of the DeFi options, yes. But don't use it to keep your Bitcoin in or your Ethereum. It's going to end in tears. So, as far as Peter Schiff is concerned, and this, I am absolutely on the same page as him. However, there is a certain line where people's inability to understand technology has to be taken into account. And I'm not talking about the ETFs here. I'm saying that exchanges are your next safest bet. And we cannot all be Bitcoin maxis. We can't all have ledgers. We can't all look after our own crypto. So, don't make anybody make you feel like you're incompetent for keeping your crypto on exchanges. If you can't use a ledger, it's the only place for it to be. Japan, we're increasing interest rates by 0.25%. The market's bled. Japan, psych. I think psych is an old word for just joking. Bank of Japan walks back talk of rate increases after roiling markets. Nikkei surges as deputy governor says central bank won't tighten when markets are unstable. Again, I think I asked a question yesterday or the day before, and the question was, did Japan make a mistake? And the answer, very simply, is yes, they did. And the reason they made a mistake is they put the entire world market into turmoil when it didn't need to be. Now, given what's just happened, given their announcement today, given America has turned the money printer back on, I would expect Bitcoin to go back up towards the 61, 62,000 range. We're going to look at Bitcoin in a minute, simply because this was FUD, this was panic, this was emotional trading. Bitcoin at $49,000, it keeps giving you chances to buy Bitcoin. It goes to $49,000. Ethereum goes to $2,200. Solana went to $112. They are the opportunities for you to get in. Now, can they go lower in the next Black Swan? Absolutely. Of course they can. Everything can always go lower. Whenever you think it can go lower, it can go lower still. So Solana, for example, I had a target of $99. Bitcoin, I had a target of $44,000 if Japan hadn't changed course, this is. So of course we can always go lower. But when the dust settles and we recover and we start breaking back up, it will all be forgotten about, just like it was at the start of July, when the entire world was ending. People were telling us the bull run was over. This happens several times in a bull run. And we've already had, how many of these have we had? 3, 4? I don't know how many of these corrections we've had, but we're going to have more. Good morning, Drop Dead. Peter has said, I'm looking at another coin called Joe. I have never heard of Joe at all. Right then, now what is this? This is a cryptic clue. For those of you that have had the airdrop, Zeus is planning to connect its DApp Apollo across to Bitcoin. So you will have a Bitcoin Solana connection. And it's giving you a hint. It has got 8.8, which I can only assume is the 8th of August, which I can only assume is tomorrow. So we're going to get some news out of Zeus tomorrow. Expect Zeus to pump. I am not saying you should go and buy Zeus, however. Now, before we get into the charts, let's go and have a quick look at this Saylor interview, because I think we just need to go over this a little bit. Trader Joe, I need to close XRP trade at BE and lower. Yeah, I think XRP is going to just rip one day when the news comes out, and I think just holding the course is probably the best thing you can do. At the end of the day, XRP is going to rip when Torres, the judge, decides it's going to finish, and when they have the meetings, the closed door meetings, to decide how much the fine is going to be. So anyway, so Michael Saylor previously forecasted Bitcoin will reach $13 million by 2045. He didn't actually say that. He gave 3 price predictions, Alex. If you remember, he also said it would reach $49 million. So pick and choose your facts, and I will not believe the content that you are writing. Saylor, whose company owns $8 billion worth of Bitcoin, endorsed Senator Lummis's proposed Bitcoin Act, which would compel the US Treasury to accumulate 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of the total supply. Jefferson purchased the Louisiana Territory for $15 million in 1803. Bitcoin is scarce, desirable digital property. It's a great idea to trade a little bit of currency or paper for some place that billions of people are going to want to be in the next 100 years. And these were the people who turned up at Bitcoin 2024. There was Trump, there was Kennedy, Cathie Wood, Michael Saylor. There was a few other people there as well. Of course, of the speakers, in political speakers, Kennedy was the best, but of course he will be. He understands it more. However, he's never going to win the election. And all the people saying vote for Kennedy, you might as well burn your vote, because it's a 2-horse race at the minute. And we know the 2-horse race is, of course, between Trump and Harris. So we know who is in the race, and it's not going to be Kennedy. However, I personally think Robert Kennedy would probably be the best choice out of what we have for the President of America, because at the minute, I mean, seriously, Harris or Trump, what's going on? You've got 350 million people, and that's the best you can do. I mean, who knows? So Bitcoin 2024 was very catalytic and marked an inflection point in Bitcoin. I do agree with that statement. Now it's possible to discuss nation states holding Bitcoin on the balance sheet, and if nation states are going to buy it, then it's reasonable for institutions, corporations and individuals to buy it as well. He's urged investors to become triple maxi bulls. Saylor's comments come one day after the entire crypto market saw a 510 billion drop in total market cap during a recent market crash. We know all about that. Now, again, before we move on, the one thing to say about this is, and I don't know whether I say this enough, your goal, in my opinion, in crypto should be to stack Satoshis, stack Bitcoin, okay? It is the number one crypto asset. It is the rarest crypto asset. It is being bought by nation states. It is being bought by companies. Tesla owns Bitcoin. MicroStrategy. You have a huge industry in America for mining Bitcoin. You potentially have both American potential presidents backing crypto, potentially, but you certainly have one. You have countries around the world. You have El Salvador already buying it one a day, and you have places like Hong Kong. And I've said this a few weeks ago. It's not going to be a case of Spain or Italy or France is going to start buying Bitcoin. It's going to be the case that the Isle of Man or Cyprus or Gibraltar start buying it to join in. Then the bigger nations will join in. Now, if Trump wins and they buy 550 Bitcoin a day, that's going to take them 3 years to buy. That's 550 Bitcoin every single day for 3 years. There's only 450 Bitcoin a day being mined. So 100 Bitcoin a day is being taken out of circulation by the American government, added on to the ETFs, added on to you and I, added on to companies buying it. It is the scarcest, rarest, most valuable cryptocurrency there is ever likely to be in our lifetimes, okay? And no matter what anybody tells you about Solana or Ethereum, your job should be to own 0.1, 0.01 or 1 Bitcoin, okay? I'm not sure that this is going to keep going along the 4-year cycles that we've seen. And I said this for months. I think this could be the last great bull run, especially for Bitcoin. I think in 4 years' time, the market cap of Bitcoin is going to be so high that I don't think we're going to see 60% retracements, 50% retracements, maybe we'll see 20, 25. Once we reach that critical mass, I think it's over as far as Bitcoin doing 500% returns. It should be the number one target for you to own 1 Bitcoin. And I know it's $60,000, $55,000. I know that. But that should be your goal. After that, yes, certainly, Ethereum, Solana, all of these things. But in 20 years' time, the only asset I can say categorically that will still be here in its current form is Bitcoin. I cannot say the same for Solana or Ethereum or Cardano. I can't. However, that doesn't mean you're not going to make 10x returns on some of these coins. I'm just saying, I think sometimes when we look at all these coins, we lose sight of what really is the number one asset, and that is Bitcoin. And if you do make massive, massive gains out of meme coins and DeFi and DePIN and RWA, you should be looking to roll them into Bitcoin, or at least some of them into Bitcoin, in my humble opinion. Now, just give me 5 minutes while I reset some of these charts from what Brogan has been looking at. So where are we on Bitcoin? We're not going to go through all the charts again. Again, we've come back into the bull flag. Do you remember what I said when we were here? I said that we can wick beneath and it's not going to cause massive problems. And we have wicked beneath and it hasn't caused massive problems. And now we are slowly starting to move up. And as far as I'm concerned, let's move these lines now. I'm hoping we don't go back down there. This line here, which is almost at the fib level, is 61,700. I think we are going to have a problem there. Look what happens when we break beneath and come back up. Why is this line blue? There is a way to change it, but I have no idea. Right. We are going to struggle, in my opinion, the way we struggled over here. And I think that could be our rejection. And remember, people are still talking about what could bring us to the downside. I think everything that's gone on is going to stop it from happening, but we still have to play it out in our minds so we can prepare for it. And that is this. That 44,000 is still on the cards, by the way. I've still got that line there. So what could happen, similar to this, is we could come up to 61,000 and get rejected. And if we do, we could come back down to this $54,000 level again. We could come back down here before having another go and breaking up. And maybe that is what we do. Now we have a few very important prices in front of our eyes. 61.7 is the first place we need to break. And then, equally as important, and we're going to leave it in there, about there for now, equally important is that line there. Why is that important? Because we are putting in lower highs after lower highs after lower highs. We are putting in lower bottoms, lower lows after lower low. Now, I didn't say a lower low. I'm not referring to the comedy sketch. So we need to break 70,000, and we need to break out of this bull flag, and we need to break out to the upside. And if we, for humor's sake, do this, and let's just take it from there. Okay, if we do that, then we could potentially move up there. I don't know where we should take it from, actually. Maybe take it from there. That would take us to $100,000. And again, I'm not saying we're going to do that. I'm just giving you the possible play. So even though we're at 57,500, if we go back to stability in the markets, which is Japan not doing stupid things, we've got the rate cut coming in September. That's going to cause a little bit of pain, but then be good for us. Then we need to really be looking at breaking that at some point towards the end of the month. I think towards the end of the month. That gives us 3 weeks, roughly, to get where we are, in my opinion. Seems like people hold Joe. They certainly do. And do indeed smash the likes. For those of you that have just joined us, please do me a favour. Follow us and subscribe. We're at 152,500. We want to get to 200,000. It's a big number. It's good for the metrics. So give us a follow. So as far as I can see, if we can stay above 54,000 and we can get towards 61,000, I think that is the short-term play. Now, 61,000 is what, 5% away? Maybe. I think 5% is possible if nothing stupid happens. And, you know, we can't possibly prepare ourselves for black swans. They just happen. And I know some of them are forecast. I know some of them are predictable, but that doesn't mean that they're still not going to shock the markets. And if we do, we still have the $44,000 range, which is down here. So that's a range that we could look at. But if we don't, and we start to look up, then 61,000 is the target for Bitcoin. Let's have a very quick look at the DXY. I don't want to go off on charts again, because I don't want to turn this into a chart show. That is more, you know, Brogan's kettle of fish. As soon as we hit 200,000, I am not singing You'll Never Walk Alone. I will only do that when we hit $100,000. Now then, again, the Dixie's broken down. What we want to see is it break down again. What we want to see really is this kind of move. That would be amazing. Down towards 102 would be fantastic. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we've fallen below the Dixie support bull market support band. We actually failed and we've come down, and we came down pretty much to the line we thought we would come down to. And I just want it to go a little bit lower. Again, the lower this stays, the better it is for the markets. That's what we want. We want a weaker or a weak-ish dollar, should we say. Now, it's 11:34. Again, we don't have an incredible amount of time to get through a lot of this. We're going to whiz on. Now, again, there is a bit of a problem with ETFs. Ethereum ETFs are not allowed to stake their Ethereum. Okay? So, proof of stake is where the chain is secured by staking Ethereum. If you start to remove that Ethereum from the staking process, you do a couple of things. None of them good, apart from maybe the rates going up that you get on your staking. But Ethereum staking has reached 28%. And again, Lido, if you want to get into coins which are associated with liquid staking on Ethereum, you want to look at Lido. If you think Ethereum is going to go to $6,000 or $7,000 anytime soon, you want to be looking at some of the layer twos, you know, maybe buying Arbitrum, Optimism, maybe buying Matic. Matic's really undervalued. Then you want to be looking at places like Lido. And for me, Lido would be the #1 choice of liquid staking if you're going to buy a token. If you want to buy a DEX, go and look at something like Uniswap. So there's a lot around Ethereum where you could probably make more money than just buying Ethereum. The percentage of ETH, of the ETH supply staked, has now reached 28%. We don't want to read too much of this. This comes after a brief dip 2 weeks ago when it dropped from 27.5 to 26.8. It's now at 28%, so almost a third of all ETH is staked. The figure has not only rebounded but surpassed previous highs. What's particularly interesting is how, similar to the trend in the Bitcoin network's transaction count discussed in the previous section, ETH staking trend has decoupled from the price performance. Exactly. We hit 4,000, we've come all the way back down. We did it 29, as I said. We'd hit 26, like I said, we've come below that though. So this is the percentage of ETH staked. Only a year ago, it was 22%. It's now 28%. It's only going in one direction. And again, why do you stake your ETH? You stake your ETH because you get a percentage of the rewards. You get rewarded for staking your ETH, for helping secure the blockchain, and you get a reward. I think it's about 3% per annum. So if you stake 100 ETH, you would get 3 ETH per year in interest. That's very simply how it works. And the issue is that a lot of these, all of these ETFs that are removing Ethereum from the system are not allowed to stake that ETH. They're not allowed to stake it. And for me, that is a short-term problem that needs to be fixed. I believe if Trump wins and Hester Peirce becomes the head of the SEC, I believe we will see an awful lot of ETH being staked. But think of it this way, the more ETH bought by ETFs, the less ETH being staked, the higher your rewards are that you get from staking your ETH. So it swings and roundabouts. I'm not a massive fan of the way that the ETFs work with Ethereum. I'm also not a massive fan of ETFs for proof of stake. I know there's problems with Bitcoin ETFs, but I'm also even more of a negative ninny when it comes to ETFs for Ethereum. And of course, yes, it's going to pump our bags. Of course it is. But there's more to it than short-term gains. Now then, how are we with Ethereum? Well, unlike Bitcoin, and I've said the same thing yesterday, I don't want to repeat myself, we had 2 price targets for Ethereum if we saw some serious downward momentum, and we had 2,900 and 2,600. We're nearly back at 2,600. Personally, I would like to see us getting back into this range, which we are in, which would be, funnily enough, $2,600. That's what we need to get to. And again, very similar to Bitcoin, if we move some of these lines down, we've got to really break that line there, which is coming in at $3,200. That's where we need to get back to. Now, unlike Bitcoin, who is only, what did I say, 5% away? Look how far Ethereum is away. $700 away. It's what's that, 30% away? Why? Because Ethereum's got the additional problems of Grayscale dumping every day. Once Grayscale finishes dumping, we will see the same thing which happened with Bitcoin, which is this movement up. So Grayscale, I think, should be finishing fairly soon, and I think we're going to start to see Ethereum move up. All this nonsense about the demand for Ethereum isn't going to be that good. It's been excellent. It just so happens to have been negated by Grayscale. So my first port of call is $3,200 for Ethereum. It might not happen in the next few days. We might be in the process of a dead cat bounce. We might come back down. If we do, $2,200. If we go up, $3,200. So again, it's a difficult position to be in because I can't sit here and give you a solid answer because we just don't know what's going to come out of the mouths of the politicians over the next few days. They are not great. Take Ondo from this price. Personally, in my opinion, yes, I would, Mohammed. And I'm going to have a look at Ondo for you in a minute. Anything below $1 for Ondo is a solid buy from my point of view. I put out lists on certain exchanges of the coins that I would be buying right now, and they include Near, which I hold, Jupiter, which I hold, Ondo, which I hold, what else on there? Solana, which of course I hold, and I think I've got Ethereum on there as well, and maybe 1 or 2 others. These are solid projects that are going to be here at the end of the bull run. And okay, Ondo, let's say Ondo only goes to $6, $5 in the bull run. it's still a solid 6x, 6.5x from here. And remember, the further on we go in this bull run, the less I'm going to be talking about 10x's and 5x's, and the more I'm going to be talking about 2 and 3x's. I cannot sit here and tell you that when Ethereum is at $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, that it's going to do a 3x. Okay, that it would be wrong of me to do that. So the longer we go in the bull run, the less my predictions are going to be, because the amount of time we have left is getting shorter. So if I say to you, buying Ondo at $1 today will give you a 6x, if we get to February or March and we're at $2, I'm only going to be telling you it's a 3x from here, because that's what I expect. The time of these videos, if you look back, let's say you look back a year, and I said to you, you know what, Solana's going to do a 30x in this bull run. Well, a 30x from $20 is $600. Now I'm telling you it might do a 6x. But my target price is higher because it's moved a long way. And Ondo is the same. If Ondo gets to $3 by January, I might say this is going to do another 3x from here. And that's a $9 target. So I'm always going to change my targets based on the time we are in the market, where we are, whether we've got Trump, whether we've got high interest rates, whether we've got low inflation. All of those things affect it. And that's one of the reasons why I will defend some of these crypto streamers, because you can't go back 2 years and watch a Ben Cowan video and say, oh yeah, but Ben 2 years ago said we're only going to go to $50,000. It was 2 years ago. If I asked you for the Man United Liverpool score next week, and I asked you that 2 years ago, do you have any idea what that score is going to be? No, unless you're Peter, who'll say that Liverpool will win. The point of the matter is, we don't have a crystal ball. We can only go off the data in front of us. So to some extent, I will defend influencers that talk about some of these crazy price targets if they're doing it last year and at the beginning of this year. But if you hear somebody next week telling you that Solana's going to go to $5,000, how? You need to ask them how, because they will say this stuff and have no way of backing it up. So if you see a streamer say, we're going to go to $10,000, no, we're going to go to $20,000 on Ethereum, ask them how. What's that based on? Is it based on market cap? Is it based on the ETF volume? Is it based on the limited supply? Where are they getting those targets from? Because every target I give you is based on some form of calculation that I have done. And I'm not saying I'm the only one. There are people out there way better than I am. But the point of the matter is, there's also a lot of people out there that just pull random numbers out of their backsides. Don't forget, cryptos are us, said $1,000 Solana by the end of the year. Let's see if he's right. So white hat hackers rewarded $500,000 bounty after exploiting the Ronin network. Again, remember, just because a network is exploited does not mean it's been hacked and drained of all of its funds. It means that some people are the good guys and they are rewarded for finding problems. They exploited Ronin for $10 million. According to the gaming-focused blockchain account, white hat hackers returned the $10,000 in USDC and received $500,000 compensation for their efforts. We want to see this. Remember years ago, if you were a hacker, you had two choices: go to prison or go to work for Barclays Bank or HSBC, because the banks employed hackers to try and break their own systems. And why wouldn't you? The same way, if you want to find out if your house is burgle-proof, you go and get a burglar. You go and get a burglar to break into your house. If you are a bank or a crypto project, you go and get a hacker to try and break in. Why would you just assume it all works? You wouldn't. So they offer these rewards. I am all for this kind of attack. The $10 million was stolen to prove it could be stolen, and now it's been returned and they get paid the bounty. My issue is that some of these chains will offer the rewards and not pay up, and that's immoral in my opinion. That $500,000 sounds like a lot of money. If there's 20 of them and they've all been trying to hack this system for 6 months, how much are they receiving really? $25,000 each, is it? $25,000 for 6 months' work is not a lot. $25,000 for a week's work is a lot, but what have they saved the chain by hacking it? So again, I'm all for this kind of stuff. White hackers are not the heroes, but they are the people that are keeping our blockchains from being exploited all the time. So they should be applauded. They're working on a solution for the root cause. The bridge update will undergo audits before being voted on by the bridge operators for deployment. We're currently negotiating with the actors who appear to be acting as white hats and have responded in good faith. Now, I'm just going to point one thing out. You might say crypto is the Wild West. Crypto is full of cowboys. I'd just like to point out the fact that Microsoft allowed the entire American airline system to grind to a halt for 48 hours because one of their patches didn't work. Now again, that's not a hack, but what I'm pointing out is that nothing is infallible, and crypto is brand new and it's fallible. The same way that when the internet started, you'd constantly be disconnected. When IPTV started, it was blocky. When YouTube started, it was blocky. You can't compare crypto today to YouTube today. You have to compare crypto today to YouTube of 10 years ago, or Microsoft of 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's an unfair comparison. So when you see stuff like this, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, especially if it's white hat. Okay, they are the good guys. Black hat, bad. White hat, good. Very simple. Now we're going to move on very quickly. I am going to look at Ondo at the end, by the way, as well. We've still got a few minutes. Lido, at this price, it should 10x. I think so. I think, I'm not going to give financial advice, of course, but I think Lido would be a good bet. And I don't hold Lido, and I don't intend to. But I think anything associated with Ethereum over the next 18 months should do quite well. Because once Grayscale stops selling, the price is only going to go up. DeFi protocol Aave generates millions in revenue amid crypto market downturn. Aave's 6 million revenue surge was driven by decentralized liquidations, including a 7.4 million WEEF position, generating $800,000. Aave, a decentralized finance protocol, has demonstrated resilience in the face of a general crypto market downturn. The platform has generated $6 million in revenue amid the current market sell-off. So the founder, we're going to call him Stan, said in an August the 5th post that the protocol successfully handled the overall stress across 14 active markets on various Layer 1 and Layer 2 blockchains, securing $21 billion in value. Stan noted that Aave's revenue surge was mainly fueled by decentralized liquidations. We don't like that. No, sorry, not liquidations. We don't like that. Liquidations just means somebody's lost $5 million. We shouldn't be happy about that. However, maybe they shouldn't have leveraged $5 million. There's another argument for that as well. The overall decline in crypto prices led to multiple liquidations on the platform, contributing significantly to the revenue. One notable liquidation involved the 7.4, which is you've already said that. According to data from Parsec Finance, the sell-off resulted in $1 billion in liquidations across crypto derivatives, with an additional $350 million liquidated across DeFi. The crypto community echoed his sentiment, with many praising Aave's resilience of why you build DeFi. Again, I had my Solana is on Camino Finance, and I've got mine staked there, and I'm earning my yield. And then we had all of these, liquidations. We had all of this drama, and I didn't think twice to look at Camino because I can sleep well at night knowing that people like Camino Finance, people like Jupiter, people like Aave, they will just work. I don't know if any of you know because we didn't cover it because it's not technically crypto, but on Monday, an awful lot of centralized apps went down. I don't know if any of you saw it in the press. I believe about six different banking and trading apps all went offline. Now, you could put your conspiracy tinfoil hat on and say they brought them down to save the market. Fair play. You could also say that they're not fit for purpose. And maybe the APIs that connect their apps to crypto or their apps that connect to the stock exchange is not sufficient enough or built out enough to be able to cope with demand. Both of those things can be true, of course. We have a certain American exchange which miraculously goes down an awful lot of the time when the market is tanking. And some people believe that's to save the selling from happening, to save the market from all the sellers. Other people just say that they cannot cope with demand. And again, I am not sure which one I'm going to believe on that matter. Now then, also, one other thing to mention, and this is quite important. I made a video about Trump DJI. I don't know if any of you remember watching it. It was a video called Trump DJI Warning. That was the video that I made. And in my video, I told you not to go near it with a barge pole. It's a meme coin. We don't know if it's been set up by the people who have set it up. Don't touch it, don't buy it. And if you do, because I can't stop you, it's not financial advice, do it with a tiny fraction. Well, guess what? 2 days ago, it was rug pulled and all of the money was drained out. And if you held any of that token, you lost everything. So I don't make videos for the sake of it. I don't make videos to spread FUD. And I also don't make videos as best I can to highlight coins which are rug pulls. The majority of my coins that I cover have been around for a while, and the roadmap, the website, the way the tokens are distributed. In general, I don't catch too many of these and praise them. Luckily, I've managed to catch most of the scams, and that includes the like of Solana VM, which is clearly a scam. I'm telling people about that. Trump DJI was allegedly set up by Trump's son. He denied it. The person who did set it up rug pulled and got away with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, again, I have to be very careful with meme coins that I don't sound too disparaging. But don't go near meme coins with anything like a high percentage of your portfolio. You're going to lose all your money. Caitlyn Jenner introduces Olympic gold medal inspired token on base. Okay, don't buy it. Okay, don't buy this coin. I brought you up a chart 2 weeks ago showing you specifically how far down most tokens had fell. And Mother and Daddy, which is Iggy Azalea's coin and Andrew Tate's coin, they're the only two coins that have held anything like value. Everything else is down 90 to 99%. What do you think is going to happen with this token? Caitlyn Jenner is what? A crypto guru? A crypto genius? What are they? Do they understand? Do they know? Who knows? According to a post by Jenner, the token will be available starting August the 8th, tomorrow. With no starting price, the medal token represents a fractional share of her Olympic medal's value and will integrate the existing Jenner coin holders. Although the non-fungible token is inspired by the gold medal, owning medal does not grant any rights to the physical medal itself. Okay. Do you know what? Why don't you get yourself a pad of paper, draw €5, $5, £5 on it, and go to a shop and tell them, well, I've got a real £5 note in my pocket, so this is worth £5, and I'd like you to take this and I want to buy, I don't know, a bottle of wine and a loaf of bread. Okay, so just take that piece of paper that I've written £5 on and let me walk out with your goods, please. What's the difference? So it's not an NFT attached to a physical item. So you have no rights. So if I own 100% of these tokens, that coin or that medal is not mine. So there's no renouncement of ownership. So the NFT is worthless. The coin is worthless. It's going to tank. Don't buy this crap. Stay away from all of this rubbish. Okay? It sounds exciting because it's Caitlyn Jenner's NFT and maybe you're a massive fan and whatever it might be. Why do you think they get celebrities to promote this garbage? They do it because you like the celebrity. I tell you now, if Taylor Swift launched a meme coin, it would be worth $5 billion tomorrow. And it would have a value of 0. Because You go and all of the, what are they called? Taylorites, Swifties. All of you Swifties out there will go and buy this absolute garbage coin because you're fans of Taylor Swift. If you like Taylor Swift, go and buy an album, because at least you physically got something in your hand. Jenna stated this project would deploy the ERC 721 NFT contract to showcase the uniqueness and allow for the fractionalization. You are not fractionalizing anything because you have no rights to the medal. You're not fractionalizing anything. And what this ERC 721 maps to the provable metadata of the RWA, including a legally binding contract signed by Caitlyn Jenner. You've got no rights over the token. If I buy 100% of these tokens and I want to sell that medal, I wouldn't be able to do it. So you have no rights. It's nonsense. Okay? If you go and buy 100% of the stock of a company as a digital synthetic version of that share, you still have the voting rights of that company. If there is a building put up, what tends to happen is you are given 49% of that building. So you can buy a fractionalized share in 49% of that building because you have deeds, you have management companies, you know, bank accounts to sort out bills, whatever it might be. That's how they do it in peer-to-peer and all these kind of things. This is nonsense. This is absolute trash. I'm not going to say any more about it. Don't bother. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of your money. I don't care what price this goes to. I am not going to spend any longer talking about it. I didn't realise that you didn't have any rights over the token. Now then, we said we'd look at Ondo. Maybe the gentleman is here, maybe he has gone, but we're still going to go and look at the price of Ondo. And then I'm going to show you the best buys. Now the best buys, of course, please bear in mind, this is my opinion. It's not financial advice. Don't just buy something because I've said it's good. Now, again, I love looking at my lines that I leave on the charts because you can clearly see this was supposed to bounce off the bull market support band and go up. However, Japan said, hold my beer. And Japan brought us down here. Now, again, when we talk about charts, I am not a TA expert, as you can probably tell. What I do is I look for patterns in charts. So if we look over here on the left-hand side, you will see the price that Ondo was at for a very long period of time, and that was between 72 or 73 cents and 86 cents. Okay, look where we are now at 73.5 cents. So ask yourself a question: is this solid support? Yes. Has the market corrected to the downside because of a geopolitical or a macroeconomic decision? Yes. So, should Ondo have been sold off in this fashion? No. So therefore, is Ondo a good price knowing where it went to? Well, we could argue this was price discovery. We could argue that this probably wasn't the price that Ondo should be at right now. But we should also probably argue that maybe $1.04 was the price above the bull market support band. And that's where I was looking to buy it. I've bought some at 90 cents, at 80 cents. I've bought some at $1.04. I've also bought some at $1.18. So I've been buying into this token. But look at the white line there where I was buying it. We had support. We were around there. We were looking for the next leg up. So where is this token going to go? It's got to break through 86 cents. Hopefully then break above 99 cents. Let's call it $1. And then we can start to look up. So is this a good buy at 73 cents? Absolutely. Good morning, Kishan. Welcome to the stream. So, as far as I'm concerned, Ondo at this price, I'm not going to say it's a bargain because it's not. I'm going to say it's a very good price to acquire Ondo. And I think, look at your options. If we go back to $1.18, that is a 60% gain. Okay? So if you bought $1,000 of Ondo today, and you wait for it to go back to $1.18, which will probably happen in the next few weeks, you've made $600. So sell your $1,000 of original Ondo and keep your $600 as a moon bag, or sell it all and move on to the next coin. Not financial advice. I'm just giving you some options. That's what I would be looking at doing. So Ondo for me is good. Now, yesterday I did DeFi, and I did, what did I do yesterday? DeFi and AI. So today we are going to look at real world assets. And I'm going to very quickly show you what I would do in this situation. I did look at this very, very briefly yesterday, but I didn't want to spend too much time on it because I think, again, I don't want to fill your head with numbers or coins, but I'm just picking them category by category. And maybe tomorrow I did say I would do meme coins. Maybe I'll do meme coins tomorrow because I'm running that time. What would I be looking to pick up in this correction? Avalanche I own and it's cheap, but no. Chainlink at $10 is cheap. It's 22% down, 20% down in 30 days. Chainlink would be number one for me. Ondo is down 25%. I would be buying Ondo. Mantra, I am not buying at Mantra at $1.07. It's a good price to get in at 80 to 90 cents. If we have a retracement back to 44,000, say, or 49,000 again for Bitcoin, and Mantra goes to 80 or 90 cents, fill your bags, okay? But I wouldn't be buying it right now. Quant is just not going anywhere. Avoid that. Synthetics is a good coin. It's not going anywhere. Trying to see what else we have down here that I like the look of or I've covered on the channel. There are some really good coins down here, but I don't want to give you too many small coins to buy because Maple, Goldfinch, they are up a little bit. They haven't retraced too much. But for me, Maple, I would go for Maple, Goldfinch, Ondo, and Chainlink. And if you want to buy even more, maybe look at Avalanche and Mantra. They would be my picks. Anyway, it is 12:03 and I have to make some videos today because I haven't made a video in days because of the heat. So I'm going to go and make a video. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. It's been a lovely show. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. It is Wednesday. There is no live stream tonight. Brogan will be back streaming tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. He's got the charts and the TA show. I will be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock. As always, we will strive every day to break that 200,000. We will strive every day to give you, hopefully, the most unbiased advice. And don't forget, by the way, this stream is sponsored by Mew. Mew is a cat meme. I am going to make a video on it and some shorts on it, by the way. So make sure to check out Mew. It's had a massive recovery, by the way. And I'm not just saying that because of Mew. But it bounced back 40% over the last 24 hours. So Mew's on a good roll. But anyway, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Kishan. Bullish Bull, welcome. And thank you to Mohammed. I hope you have a great afternoon. I will see you in the morning. I am going to go and cool down because the room is like an oven. See you tomorrow.